Alberto was a medical doctor in his town. When the government took over the hospital and medical system in Venezuela, socialized medicine, he was the hospital administrator. And not wanting to have his hospital under the control of the government, he simply resigned, retired, and in his retirement sought God's guidance for his life. He heard about the seminary, so he attended the seminary in Barquisimeto and became one of the graduates in the seminary. He also became professor in the seminary. While he was in seminary, he discovered that God was calling him to be a pastor. It was not something that he had thought much about before, but it was clearly a call upon his life. So he went back to his town where he lived. He commuted to seminary. Went back to the town where he lived and planted a new church. They've been in 2 or 3 different locations during the years since he planted the church. But today they're in the most prominent location in their town, property adjacent to the large soccer stadium in their city. It is the largest evangelical or Protestant church in their town. And he and his wife are graduates of the seminary. Well, actually, his wife's a student. His son is also a graduate. They've had a remarkable ministry in that town. They're beginning to start new cell groups in other parts of the city, in other parts of the country. They've had as many as 25 of their students attend seminary, at least 1 or 2 classes. One of the most amazing things is his son, Josue, has been going to do ministry in the jail in San Felipe, men's prison in San Felipe. Now, prisons in Venezuela aren't anything like what you think of as prisons in the United States. Essentially, the prisoners are armed to provide order in the prisons. It's a very dangerous place. And Josue went there to do ministry with these men. And one day, actually, the week he was to graduate from seminary, he came to me and said, I need to miss Thursday's class in seminary. And I said, why? He said, because I've been doing a discipleship training class, material we teach in the seminary, in the men's prison in Felipe, and I've promised the ones that finished that I would bring them a Bible, and Thursday's the day I'm supposed to take them their Bibles. Well, I knew that San Felipe was 2 hours by bus from where he lives. I knew that he has no income-producing job. I knew that he has no access to the kind of resources necessary to provide training manuals for these men. But yet he had consistently, for at least 9 weeks, I'm not sure how long he'd been doing discipleship training, but at least 9 weeks, he'd traveled by bus 2 hours each way at his own expense, providing materials to these men taking discipleship training. Now, the reason this was significant that he asked to be off on Thursday is our classes are in 1 week intensives, and you can't miss a whole week and still get credit for a whole day, and still get credit for the class. But he asked anyway, and it was his last class, graduating on Saturday if he completed that required class. So I said, instead of saying what I wanted to say, which is, you can't miss a whole day of class and get credit for this class and graduate. Instead, I said, well, Josue, how many men have completed discipleship training? Thinking 12, 15 would be a tremendous number. He said, 130, with great humility, 130. I said, you can get an excused absence for Thursday. Why did I say that? Because this is indicative of what God is doing in the church in Venezuela.